I need a faster video idea because I am currently working on a video that involves reading 2 novels, and it's just taking a long time because I don't have a lot of time to read. So I want to do a video idea that is faster. And what is faster than comics? I have 3 Mighty Nein Origins comics that I have not read yet, and I figured those would be quick to read. I have already read all of these ones. I'm not going to do a whole video on all of these because I don't feel like rereading them, and I just don't want to do that. But I'll give just like what I remember of these books, like a 1-sentence thought about them, I guess. I'm just going to do them in whatever order they're stacked here. So we have Mighty Nein Origins, Not the Brave. It was fine. I don't have any particular strong memories of it. It didn't leave a strong impression on me, but I don't believe I disliked it. I think I gave it like a 3 or a 3.5. It was fine. It was serviceable. I have the Yasha one. That one I did enjoy. Yasha, we definitely didn't get as much exploration of her backstory as I would have liked on screen, so that was a nice one to read and get a little more information about what actually happened in her life. Caleb Widogast, again, this one was fine, controversial. I know Caleb is everybody's favorite. He's just fine. And I appreciated the polyamory rep, and there being a bi triad was great, but otherwise, like, it was just fine. Ford is my absolute favorite. He's my favorite character, and this is my favorite Mighty Nein Origins comic so far. The art is beautiful. I loved getting more insight into his story, the way it explored some of the things that, like, we would get allusions to or hints at or a brief comment on things from his past, but to actually dive into it was very nice, and I really liked it, and I love this comic. Last but certainly not least, we have Jester. I also really like this one. This is probably my second favorite. It was nice seeing a bit more of Jester's childhood and getting an idea of like what exactly happened that, you know, forced her to leave Nicodranus, and a bit more about her relationship with the Traveler. That was all very nice. But it wasn't a like, whoa, amazing experience. It was just good. So that's where I'm at with those. And then I will read these other ones, and I'll go through them one by one as I read them. Pardon me, I have showered and I am in my pajamas, but I also read this. So Mighty Nein Origins, Beauregard Lionette. First thought, not a huge fan of the art style. I don't love the art. I find the faces kind of weird. There's a lot of scenes where the faces are just kind of like, and like they're not emoting, they're just, let me see if I can find one. This is someone who's angry, I'm pretty sure. I believe this is also someone who's angry. So I'm not a huge fan of the art style. There's also a couple panels where like it's action panels, but it's not like fighting panels where I'm like, I don't need to super know exactly what's happening. It's like a character is making a choice and doing something drastic that is like a big catalyst to the story, and I have no idea what the fuck happened. Like, I stared at this set of panels for a good minute just being like, huh? What happened? I don't understand. That aside, like outside of the art, which, you know, unfortunately is an extremely important part of a comic experience, it is hard to enjoy a story if you can't follow the art or you don't like looking at the art. But in terms of the plot and what is conveyed through the words in the book, it was pretty good. It wasn't anything like shocking or groundbreaking compared to what we know from the campaign, but most of these aren't going to be that. It's just like kind of filling out and giving a more direct view of what the character's backstory is. But I did like seeing, kind of seeing just how focused Bo had been on her father and getting his approval, because like we know that her father is, and like the like trauma he has inflicted on her is essentially a ghost that haunts Bo throughout campaign 2. And we know she hates her dad, and we know there's a lot of complicated history there. But actually seeing it like play out and how much she was doing to try to prove herself, and then the way that ends is, I did like seeing that. I thought that was handled pretty well. Um, it's just really unfortunate that I don't like the art, and I didn't feel like the art conveyed the story very clearly at all. So I would probably give this one a 3. But yeah, that's one comic down, and there's 2 more to go. Okay, so I just finished reading Mighty Nine Origins, Caduceus Clay, and I loved it. 5 stars. The art was beautiful. I just, so many of the art decisions in this were amazing. There's one part where it's like showing Caduceus doing a ritual, and it shows it as there's an image of him in the middle at like an altar or whatever, and then around it is little images of him going through each step of the ritual, which is so cool, not only because it visually looks like really amazing and it's just so nice to look at, but also because there's this constant talk throughout the book about life and death being like a wheel or a cycle. And so seeing the ritual represented in that circular fashion is just beautiful. I love it. I really liked how the magic and stuff was portrayed. I thought it was like beautiful, but without being like over dramatic or like overwhelming the rest of the story, because the magic is important in the story. It is an important element of how Caduceus carries out his work, but it's not supposed to be this extremely flashy, show-offy thing. I liked seeing more firsthand examples of the corruption that's happening in the Grove, or at least in the area surrounding the Grove. I liked seeing a little bit more of Caduceus's family. I really liked the insight this gave us into how exactly Caduceus became the last one left to tend the Grove. I thought it was well written. I thought it was like, this isn't like a big, exciting, dramatic story. It's a very quiet story for the most part, but it didn't feel boring. I mean, it helped that it was gorgeous, but it was very clearly a story about, I guess, like making peace with your purpose and accepting the life you are dealt. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm not capturing it very well, but it was beautifully conveyed in its imagery and in its language, and I just really love this one. This is probably now my second favorite Mighty Nine Origins comic. Ford is going to be a hard one to top. He's also my favorite Mighty Nine character, but I really, really like this one. I'm surprised by how much I like this one. So that is another 5-star, and I only have one Mighty Nine Origins comic left to read. It is Mollymox, and so I will get to that next. First of all, apologies if you can hear a lot of noise out in the hallway. There are people moving in my building. But I just finished reading my last Mighty Nine Origins comic, Mollymox, and I really liked this one. I didn't know if I would like this one as much. Just because, like, I don't know. I know it's unpopular and everybody loves Molly, and Molly's everybody's favorite, but I was always kind of neutral on Molly. But I really liked this one. I guess it helps that, like, so little was able to be established about Molly because of reasons. Trying not to spoil. But I thought this one, it was beautiful. So beautiful. I particularly liked the tarot card motif throughout, or is it tarot card or oracle card? I'm not sure which it is technically, but that motif throughout was just stunning. Like, can I get this on camera? Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. So that was beautiful. The art in general was very, very nice. I really enjoyed it. And like the layout of the pages was done very well. And I liked seeing more of how Molly came to be this iteration of himself. And yeah, it was good. I don't know if it's quite, now that I'm like thinking on it, I don't know if it's quite a 5-star exactly, because I wasn't like I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like blown away the way I was with like Ford and Caduceus. So I think this is probably a 4. But I did really like it. The art is beautiful. It did give some good insight into his backstory. Also, super weird seeing Mollymox without all of his tattoos. I was like, why does he look so weird? I'm like, oh, no coat, no tattoos. This is blank slate Molly. I really enjoyed it. And was good, and I'm happy that I finally finished reading all the Mighty Nein Origins comics. I feel like I should have a conclusion about them. I guess in order from lowest to highest. I mean, it's probably pretty easy to tell from the way I talked about each of them, but it'd go Bo, then Molly, then Caduceus. Caduceus was my favorite easily. But yeah, these were good. I love the Mighty Nein so much. Definitely my favorite Critical Role campaign thus far, although campaign 4 has been pretty good so far. If you've watched this far, please leave leave a dice emoji down below, because Critical Role is a D&D show. So dice for Dungeons and Dragons. So leave a dice emoji down below if you've watched this far. And thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye!